Two dudes, one VHS. Rewind the time, no need to guess. Pop it in, press play, don't stress. It's a movie night, pure retro mess. Old tapes, big last, memories flash. We're kicking it back when classics last. So grab some snacks and don't you fret. Two dudes, one VHS.
Before we begin, we want to note that this film discussed in this episode was made in the 1980s. It contains language, stereotypes, and portrayals that are offensive and culturally inappropriate. Our discussion is intended to examine the movie itself in its historical context and does not reflect our personal beliefs or values. We do not condone or support the harmful content presented. Hello, everybody.
Ooh, welcome back.
It's me, Alex.
Roma.
We're back for our second New Year's episode. Today's movie, Trading Places, from 1983. This might be the oldest one we've done.
Yeah, it is so far.
So let's start with your thoughts.
Well, this is my first time watching it. I will say that the first half of the movie was kind of, in my opinion, slow processing. But then the last half was the comedy that I was expecting from Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd in the movie itself.
Okay. I'll ask you at the end about your rating.
Okay.
So let's start with, it was directed by John Landis, which is a very popular name. Written by two guys I had never heard of, Tim Harris and Herschel Weinrod.
Yep.
Weinrod. I don't know who they are. I didn't look them up. Obviously Eddie Murphy, who should go without saying. Eddie Murphy's huge. Dan Aykroyd, huge. This is our second movie in January with Dan Aykroyd.
Yep.
Jamie Lee Curtis. So obviously she's from Halloween. She was in True Lies. Many other things like Freaky Friday. Big name there as well. Some smaller names. Let's see if I can pronounce this right. So, they're Coleman, the butler. Did you recognize him from anything?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay, come on. He is Brody in the Indiana Jones movies. Very funny character in those movies.
I never watched all the Indiana Jones movies. I only watched a few of them.
Okay. Anyways, his name's Denholm Elliott. Next one is Ralph Bellamy. That's Randolph. So he's a fairly big name, but like he was born in 1904. So a lot of his movies are pre our birth dates.
Right. Okay.
He does reprise this role in Coming to America. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
So he's in that one. You bet.
Really?
Bet you didn't know because you never seen this one.
Nope.
And then Mortimer is Don Amachi. Do you recognize him?
I do, but I don't know from where.
Okay, so for me, Cocoon.
Oh, God, that was a great movie.
God, I loved Cocoon. Being a kid in the 80s, watching a movie about senior citizens and loving it is just something that's so bizarre. There is no chance that my children today, at the ages of 14 and 16, would ever sit down, watch a movie about people in their 70s.
Yeah.
And say, wow, I love this. I want to watch it again.
That's true. That is true. Mind you, they have the mental capacity, or not mental capacity, the, what's the word I'm looking for? Attention span of a gnat sometimes,
Well,
right?
yeah, but still, like, sure, they may turn things off, but I don't think they would ever turn it on.
No, you're right. They probably will watch like the first 5 minutes and then scroll on their phone for the rest of the time.
So he also reprises this role in Coming to America. And then, did you see any other actors you recognized?
No, I just was shocked at Jamie Lee Curtis. That was the shocker for me.
Yeah. She looked great in this.
Phenomenal in this movie.
So we've got some big names that get very small parts in this. Jim Belushi, did you see him?
Yeah, I did see him. That was at the party, wasn't it?
At the New Year's party, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Gleason, he's the principal from The Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen him or
noticed him. He plays Beaks. He's the guy that does all the shady deals for them.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you know Frank Oz?
No.
No. Oh, Frank Oz is a famous puppeteer. He did things like Miss Piggy, um, Sam the Eagle,
Oh
Fozzie
God.
Bear. He did Grover and I think Bert and Ernie on Sesame Street. He did the voice of Yoda when Yoda went digital.
Okay.
He's huge. He played the policeman who finds the drugs and stuff when
Oh, the
Mark's in
PCP,
jail.
the
Yeah,
PCP. Yeah, yeah,
that's him.
yeah.
Okay, here's another one that you for sure won't know about, because I didn't even know about this. Robert Earl Jones. That is James Earl Jones's father. So Vader's dad was in this.
Really?
Now, IMDb calls him attendant, but it doesn't say like where in the movie is he the
Right.
attendant. So I don't know. I didn't know what he looked like besides some old black and white pictures, so I couldn't pinpoint him exactly for the brief little amount he does get screen time.
I was just looking at IMDb. Apparently, Giancarlo Esposito's in here too.
Yep, that was my next one. Stop cheating.
Sorry.
And what do
I
you mean
didn't really
apparently? He was right in your face
in
when
this
Billy Ray goes to jail. He's one
goes
of the
to jail.
cellmates. Okay.
I didn't notice.
Oh my god. Arlene Sorkin, another big name. Do you know her?
No.
Oh, come on. She was on Old School Days of Our Lives.
Right.
Okay. And she's the voice of Harley Quinn in the animated Batman.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
watched that.
she was at Billy Ray's party. She was the last one to leave. She gets her jacket put on. She says thank you and then leaves.
And then leaves.
Yeah. It's a very, very small role. Lots
Yeah.
of little cameos and stuff. Shall we get into the movie?
Yes, let's shall.
Okay. So let's start off opening credits. We're playing the music. I'm getting to see all the list of everybody showing up. And we're getting lots of edits. We're getting to see the working class, shots of Philadelphia, New York, all these different places. Did you see the Rocky statue?
Yeah, I did saw the Rocky statue. I also I enjoyed that little tidbit in there. That was kind of cool.
In between all these, the working class, some homeless, we get thrown in some really wealthy. We
Yeah.
later find out it's Coleman. He's, grabbing the mail. He's preparing some food. It's just little snippets just to show you the huge difference
Between
in
the
the
working
popcorn.
class and the rich. Yeah.
The song finally ends. We end up on a very rich gentleman being served breakfast in bed. Then he gets a fresh shave in his own barber shop or
Yep.
something. And it's Dan Aykroyd. He's playing Winthorpe. It's a name that I'm going to mention a lot. One thing about Dan in this movie is he really nails that snooty attitude, his demeanor, and the way he speaks.
Yeah, he totally does throughout the entirety of the movie, basically the first half of the movie.
Yeah,
He's very, very stick up his ass kind of
yeah.
guy.
Especially, we just saw him in Ghostbusters 2,
Yeah.
where Ray's not exactly the smart guy. He's not the funny guy. He's kind of the dopey guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And for this role, it's just fun to see him. They get out of the house, and he stands at his car, and he stands until Coleman comes and opens the door for him. That's how rich and snooty he is. He won't even open it. I'll wait here for 5 minutes if I have to.
I pay you to open the door.
So we arrive at Duke and Duke, where Winthorpe's a big deal.
Yeah.
He's walking through the office, and we see him being greeted by almost everybody that's crossing his path.
Right.
Morning, Mr. Winthorpe. Good morning, Miss. And he's responding, pretty politely to most of them. He says good morning most of the time.
Right.
There are times where he does just say, which is fine. But
Yeah.
for the most part, he seems like a pretty cool dude. In the next scene, we're introduced to the Dukes themselves. They're leaving their home. They're getting their coats on. They're also greeted by a bunch of people. But the biggest difference in this is They're employees, the maids, the butlers, the cleaning staff. They're all standing out there, and every one of them says good morning to the Dukes. And the Dukes don't say a word, not to anybody. So it just
No.
shows us a pretty good dynamic between the Dukes, who are super rich,
Yeah.
and Winthorpe, who's rich, but he's still down to earth. He's still a nice person. So I thought that was neat. Good to go. Excuse me.
Nobody's gonna get that reference.
Well, maybe AI will see it and it'll know. So we find out that Winthorpe is a fancy stockbroker for the Dukes. He makes a bunch of money. The Dukes pull up in their fancy limousine, which has computer monitors, the phones. Like, I'm sure even for 1983, that was still fancy as hell.
Yeah. I think that's also was ahead of its time in 1983.
Yeah.
The phones maybe, like the
Yeah.
bag phones were inside the cars around that time, but I don't ever remembering any computers in vehicles,
Yeah.
anything like that. So
Super cool to see. Also, anybody watching on YouTube, if my video sucks, my apologies. I don't know what's going on with it. It's really bothering me because I can see it right there. So just a heads up. It may go away. I don't know. Anyways, so the Dukes are sitting down there, and it's funny. The waiter comes over, gives them what they need, and then they tip them a Christmas present.
no. He gave him the Christmas bonus.
Christmas bonus. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So again, very different than what Clark Griswold got,
Yeah.
where he could get a pool.
Yeah.
He gets $5.
Yeah.
So, oh, thank you.
I will go to a movie by myself. Now,
And he
keep in
only-
mind though, the movie for $5 by himself, that was still expensive back then, don't you think?
Right. Yeah, that's true. And I love how he thanked Randolph, but then Mortimer was like, hey, half of that's from me.
Yeah.
So it's $2.50 each. Awesome.
There's a bunch of cheap asses.
Now, did you notice the staff?
What do you
All of
mean?
the staff.
What do you mean
All
by
of-
notice them?
Not the staff at the mansion in the beginning. I'm talking about the staff working at this. Is this a country club or is this the office?
I want to say it's an office and a country club.
to. So this might be the actual like Duke and Dukes.
Yeah.
Every single employee walking around, whether it's the server that came and got that bonus, or just background people opening doors, they're all African American.
Yeah. I did kind of notice a little bit of that. Some of the butlers were white, but they also had accents as well. So like they were.
Really? Where did you see them? I
foreigners.
didn't see those guys.
There was the butler for what's his name? For Dan Aykroyd. He was
Oh
white.
yeah. No.
But he had an
that's the house
accent.
staff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
So,
see. You're
The Duke and
talking
Duke
specifically
house
Duke and Duke.
staff.
Okay.
No, Duke and Duke house staff that all said good morning to him. They were all Caucasian.
But at Duke and Duke, they
But
were
at
all
the business,
yeah.
they were all African American, which, we know, we see in this movie, the Dukes are racist.
Yeah.
They,
You got to remember though, this was early 80s.
yeah. And
So
I was a kid in the 80s, so I don't know. I probably didn't even pick it up.
yeah.
Back then, it was just the norm in movies. Yeah. 26, I noticed. And
Yeah.
it wasn't cool.
No, not at all. Again, like it was 1980. The movie came out, 1983, probably filmed in 1981, 82. So it was a different time back then. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming more so like it's a comedy. So they did it more for the comic relief than they did for anything else, let's say.
Right. Yeah. Because this movie, again, being an Eddie Murphy movie too, Eddie loves playing up that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least he did back then.
Yeah.
So we hear the Dukes talking about a conversation about environment versus upbringing. This comes up quite a bit because it's
Yeah.
the main plot of the movie. It's the key focus point. And we're outside now, and we see Eddie Murphy out there.
For the first time. Yeah.
First time, he's wheeling around. He's got no legs.
He's blind.
So funny.
I I was just thinking, like, the way that he was talking to the entire time. I was like, "Man, Christmas, man, Christmas." I'm thinking of, like, Eddie Murphy Raw, Eddie Murphy Delirious time when
Yeah,
he was doing his little
that was him.
skits. Yeah,
That's Eddie Murphy is always funny when he's screaming his lines out.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's great.
yeah. It was so good. It was so good.
I liked when the cops arrived and he
Yes.
immediately turned into Stevie Wonder. Like, yeah. And they take his shades off and he's trying to like act blind.
Right after they see him grabbing the girl, he's pretending to be blind, right? Like, exactly. It's like and then, like, they're asking him, like, "Which part of Vietnam were you from? Like, which
Yeah.
deployment were you in?" And he's just making up stuff left like, the most racist comments I've ever heard of, like, the wording that he's like I'm not even gonna repeat what he said, but, like, naming the cities of, like, Vietnam and
Oh,
stuff like
yes.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. He's just rambling out, not even real words, more sounds that
Yeah,
he thinks are Vietnamese.
exactly, exactly.
Um, I also found it funny. So when he's rambling on about that nom, he mentions that he was in the airborne.
Yep,
Now, do you see what the problem with that is?
because he's blind.
Well, no. Sure, he could have got blind since. But if you're in the airborne, it means you're flying. How did you step on a landmine and blow your legs off? Which is what the cops realize when they look at each other and they're like, airborne. And then he picks them up. They
Yeah.
pick him up, knowing you've got legs.
He's not he didn't he has legs, yeah. And then his little comment afterwards, he's like, "I can see, I can stand.
I got legs. And
It's a miracle."
he just runs off. The cops let him go. Yeah. So, which is weird because then all of a sudden, as he's across the street now, away from those two cops, he sees the one cop car and panics.
Yeah,
It's like, dude, they already let you go. Just keep going. You're not doing anything. But he panics and he comes back and he bumps into Winthorpe, and there's this big misunderstanding about the briefcase.
yeah,
And again, and Aykroyd playing this part so well. I really believed that he was this yuppie who was terrified for his life, that this guy was mugging him.
yeah. It was good acting from Dan Aykroyd and also Jamie Lee Curtis. I did enjoy her acting as well. We'll get to
Right.
that part as well.
We'll get to that. So the cops now start coming to chase Eddie because they think he's stealing this briefcase. And he runs into the building. The cops all run into the building. And then the doorman pulls out his little whistle and starts blowing his whistle like mad.
Whistle. Yeah.
Who are you whistling for? The cops are already inside. Like, what I don't understand.
Were they inside already?
Yeah, they chased Eddie Murphy straight into the
Oh,
building.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, a very, comedy oriented chase around the lobby, under the table. The cops all pull their guns on him. They walk him out cuffed. They throw him in the back of the police car. And then do you notice that he breaks the fourth wall there for a second?
Yeah, he did.
For no reason. And no other time in the movie does he do it.
He doesn't do it any other you're right. He doesn't do it any other time in the movie, but he broke the fourth wall just at that specific moment. And
Why?
it didn't make sense to
Yeah.
why he would do it.
There was no reason why the editors needed to leave that in.
Yeah.
It had no connection to the story. He
No
didn't
bearing
talk
to
or
it,
anything. It was
nothing.
strange.
They didn't even go back to it in the later part of the movie. Nothing.
Nothing.
It was just there.
Yeah.
It's like the editors just missed cutting that out.
Right. Like he was waiting for them to call cut or something.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Next scene is when Billy Ray Valentine is in jail. And he's in there and he's hyping himself up. And that's when we see Giancarlo. He's the one up against the bars who's holding the bars all cool like.
Yeah. He didn't I didn't notice it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice it. I might have to watch it again.
This scene is hilarious. I like the two fellas that are sitting on the bench, the really big guys.
Big guys, yep.
They come up and they're talking, and the one bigger guy, the taller guy, is always like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
this is his whole line."
Especially when he goes back. I know we're gonna get to that part when he goes back to the bar later on. He's like, "Yeah."
That's the whole. I think that I didn't count, but that guy said it like 4 times.
Yeah, and it's very deep and like so good, so pronounced very. Yeah.
It was funny. Also, again, this is 80s slang. But one of them says, "It ain't cool being no jive. Turkey's so close to Thanksgiving." I was laughing. I've seen
I'm
the
not gonna
movie
lie, I
before.
was not. I was like, "What the hell did he just say?" I had no
Jive
idea.
turkey was a huge saying
Yeah,
uh, in the past. Uh, I don't understand the exact translation or meaning to it, but
right.
calling somebody a jive turkey and bringing up that Thanksgiving's coming up is just funny. It's just
That is
perfect.
true. That is true.
So, anyways, Billy Ray gets bailed out. He's so thankful and surprised because he was about to get his butt kicked. They were holding him up on the bars.
I was,
He gets outside and the Dukes pull up in their limo. Now, here's my question. Somebody bailed him out. The Dukes are not inside. But then when he gets to the car window, they say, "Hey, we bailed you out. How did you guys bail him out if you're just pulling up now?"
probably that, shady guy that,
Think so?
I
Or do you think they sent an e-transfer?
well, there was no e-transfer back then. Maybe
No?
it was maybe it was a telegram. Who knows? I don't know. It wasn't an e-transfer, that's for sure. The technology wasn't there back then for e-transfer.
And did they time pulling up, or were they just parked around the corner in
Well,
a
they're
different
probably parked
spot?
around the corner.
Oh, there he
I'm
is.
thinking I'm gonna think it was that shady guy that got, Dan Aykroyd framed for
Okay.
everything, went
Okay.
and paid the bail, basically flagged him down saying that he's coming out, and then they pulled out just in time as he was coming out. But again, that's something that wasn't in the movie. So you're right. It's a plot hole in the movie itself.
Well, they convince him to get into the car, and they explain to him what they're doing. They're not. I can't remember what the word they used, but they're helping people out because from the goodness of their heart,
Their hearts. Yeah.
they like to help people. Um, and I love how he takes like the bottle of whiskey and he grabs a bunch of the cigars and he's just clenching on
Clenching them and sticking them in his jacket and everything. Yeah.
it. They take him to Winthorpe's house, in which, okay, Roma,
Yeah.
brace yourself. But when they walk in, Randolph speaks to Eddie Murphy. Okay.
Right.
And he says, "William." And Eddie Murphy cuts him off and says, "Hey, Billy Ray." Because Billy is short for William.
Shut up. I knew you were gonna bring that up. I actually knew you were gonna bring that up. As soon as I heard that, I'm like, this is gonna be another Billy and William scenario, 100%.
That's two movies out of what have we done? 6?
6 or 7,
All right.
or as the kids would do,
Maybe we could
6,
find
7.
some more. 6, 7. Maybe we could find some more with William and Billy's. I'll look.
Sorry, we have a little special guest behind me. It's my son Luca. When I said 6, 7, he just gave me the look.
Okay, so they've showed him around. He goes to have a bath because they insist. Which, okay, whatever. He's in the bath and Coleman's there, and Coleman says, "It's a jacuzzi, sir." And now we get our first gay panic joke.
Well, there's that, and then there's another joke that comes after that. But okay,
This one, Billy Ray doesn't know what a jacuzzi is because he's poor.
yeah,
He assumes it's some sort of gay come on,
yeah.
and he's like, "I ain't into that," kind of thing. It was
And then they turn it on, and the bubbles come up, and he's like, "If we wanted bubbles in the bathtub, we had to fought."
good classic jacuzzi humor.
Yeah,
Let's see. Billy Ray's walking around the house, slowly pocketing as much items as possible throughout the room. And they try to explain to him, "Hey, man, no need to steal here. This is your
it's
place.
it's all yours.
You own all this stuff." And he doesn't believe them, so he keeps taking more stuff. And then he discovers the TV and stereo in the cabinet. And he's like, "This TV and this stereo, this is mine? You saying
Yeah,
this is mine?" Now, what a big difference. Okay. So in 83, and well, much of the 80s, TVs were put into cabinets like that, or they were fabricated as big wood boxes, something very fancy. You could put stuff on it, like a
Yeah.
doily and a bunch of knickknacks.
Yeah, they used to be like the RCAs with the opening doors and the little UHF, VHF dials.
Yeah, because TVs, they were meant to be hidden. They were an
Yep.
eyesore. You didn't want them sitting out, having people know you watch TV like a lazy bum. Whereas now you're putting your 80-inch on top of the fireplace. You know, they're all over your walls in different rooms. It's a status symbol now. You're showing off your TVs. That's how we've downgraded as a society. All we care about are our TVs. As I'm looking at mine.
As
Crazy.
we're looking at ours, exactly.
We get introduced to Mr. Beeks finally, and we see that he's been tasked an assignment by the Dukes. We don't
Yeah.
know what it is yet, but we see him slip something into Winthorpe's pocket at the big meeting.
Now-
Dukes, what?
Before we go forward with this,
Yeah.
is it because Winthorpe was talking about that one check that he got signed about that person? Is that why they were blackmailing him? You know, at the beginning when the Dukes were signing the checks and he's
Yeah,
like,
and he found the big $50,000.
the big $50,000 check is they didn't really explain up until that point why they were framing him.
Well, so the reason for the framing is they needed to switch the role. They wanted to put Valentine in there.
Okay.
Now, why did they pick Winthorpe? I don't know. Maybe it
Okay.
was because of that. Because there's a lot of other employees, probably some just as good as Winthorpe, that they could have selected. But they chose him for whatever reason.
And
Maybe.
especially since Winthorpe was getting married to one of the Dukes' daughters, right?
Right.
Like, why would they ruin his life and ruin their daughter's life? So, like, that was the only thing that I didn't quite understand in the movie, because there was no explanation as to why he was being framed.
Why they picked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did. It was funny.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been as funny with Todd.
I guess it's true.
So anyways, the Dukes, like you said, they've set him up, they framed him, setting his life into this big downward spiral from this moment on. And it was kind of weird how they did the discovery. So Beeks had everybody put their hand into the guy's
onto the shoulder first, and then into their pocket.
Weird. Like, man, what if he had a snot rag in there? Like, this is gross. I don't want to put my hand in there.
And you know what? That would have been the time that somebody would have had like a snot rag in their pocket.
When you're looking around the room, so first off, let's just point it out. It's only white people in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you see like 5 of the Monopoly Man, and like it's just, these are the old guys that would have a handkerchief in their pocket full of snot.
Yeah.
It's gross. But okay, they did it. They pulled out the money. Police come, or security, whichever it was, and they take him away. And the next scene, we see Billy Ray all dressed up now. He goes into that bar that he apparently used to go to all the time.
Yep.
And he's sharing the wealth. He's making it rain. He's throwing money everywhere. And those 2 big goons from jail happen to be there. God. Like, what are the chances that they're there?
What are the chances that they got let out and they're there?
Yeah. So they talk about, they ask about the limousine. Coincidentally, yeah, he did arrive in a limousine. So what he was saying in jail could have been true then.
Yep.
So they're like, that limousine right outside yours?
Yeah.
And this is where, and he throws back that, yeah. Right. It was funny.
I think I like that line the most in the entire movie was the yeah.
It was funny. Yeah. He throws a party for everybody at the bar.
Hey, now this party reminded me back to We Need a Counter, like in Die Hard.
Right.
So the amount of boobs that were just in that 5-minute span of that party, I think we'd be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count right now.
Now, it can't be an 80s movie without some boobs. So, yeah. We got to have some boobs. So funny. I was thinking the same thing. I thought back to John McClane when he found the booby poster.
But
yeah, so throws this party. One thing I did notice, I don't know if you noticed, but he quickly regretted throwing the party.
Yes. He went from being the homeless homeless guy or panhandler, whatever, to, have you guys ever heard of a coaster?
Yeah.
Who turned the cigarette out on my floor? Like, he went to the snooty guy
Right.
real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Environment versus upbringing.
Right.
Because that's what the whole movie is. Is it your environment that affects you, or is it your upbringing?
Yeah. I just Googled it. It was nature versus nurture debate.
Yeah, but that's those words weren't used in this.
No, it was used. You were right. It meant in and whatever you just said. I'm not even going to say it again.
Upbringing, yes.
Upbringing. There we go.
Yeah, so we get to see that perfectly here because, like you said, he's basically turned into Danny Tanner.
Yeah.
He's upset at everybody. He decides he wants them out. People are up in his bedroom. He's upset about it. And then we see Winthorpe now in jail, sitting on the floor there. He doesn't even get a stool or a bench. Look, it's a difference from when Billy Ray was in jail in the
And
cell.
he also got beaten up real bad compared to Billy. Like, that was like huge difference.
Yep. So again, environment versus upbringing. He can't handle himself, whereas Billy Ray can.
Yeah.
He gets bailed out by his fiance, who's appalled by his behavior. But we meet Jamie Lee outside the police station, who we later find out her name's Ophelia, which reminds me of that stupid new song that's always on the radio by Taylor Swift.
Oh God, yes.
Oh, I hate that song. It always makes me think, because this
Be
is
careful,
the only
right?
Ophelia.
We might get Swifties against us if you say you hate that song.
But yeah, Beeks pays Jamie Lee, the prostitute, to pretend she knows Winthorpe. Fiance gets all pissed off. And then here, it's going down the pooper again. So he takes her home, tries to prove it to Jamie Lee's character that he's rich and he's going to get her some money. Knocks on the door and Coleman pretends like he doesn't know.
We know who he is, yeah.
I don't understand what Coleman was up to with that, because he could have just said, "Sorry, sir, you don't live here anymore."
I think that was more because he was probably offered money by the Dukes to pretend that he doesn't know him.
Like, yeah, sure, but like the bank doesn't pretend like they don't know him. Like, it's just, sorry, your visas are gone.
Yeah,
you have
your
no
money's
money.
been frozen.
Your house has been foreclosed, let's say.
Yeah.
Didn't have to like be that cold and say, I don't know who you are.
I guess that's true too. That is true.
But I felt bad for him. Like, he's not crazy.
I think that was the point, is to make you feel bad for him at that point.
Yeah. And then the next scene, they go to the bank. He finds out what did he say he had? $150,000?
$150,000.
Yeah.
Which blows my mind, because 1983, $150,000 meant you were rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So how much was that house that he was living in?
Well, I don't know, but was it a house or was it just an apartment?
It was one of those houses that are attached to each other, because it's like in New York, right? They're all attached. They get to own that building, right? So like, he bought, it's a house, but it's attached to other homes, right? So
like, very Sex in the City style.
Yes, that kind of style.
A little bit bigger.
But it's like, again, like he said, he had $150,000 in his bank account, plus all the cards that he can possibly imagine in 64. What did he say? 64 countries or something like that. And it's like, how much was that house that he had? Because that was a massive house. It's like, I want to go back to the 80s.
They've left the bank now. He is desperate. He's down on his knees begging her to believe him, to not leave him. His fiance's already left him. Now all he's got is this hooker. So she feels sorry for him, and obviously lets him jump in the cab. Did you notice? Well, you must have noticed. As they were driving away, Valentine was in the car too. So they saw each other, Billy Ray and Winthorpe.
Yeah,
that's the guy.
And he got out the window, and he's like, "That's my car."
He's probably living in my house, and he's probably fondling my fiance. That's so funny.
That was good.
We go back to Duke and Duke, and Valentine goes up the elevator, and it's fancy when the elevator has a vase with flowers in it. How many elevators have you been in your life that had a decorative vase with flowers in it?
Zero.
Zero.
Absolutely zero. But
Fancy.
also, not only the vase, they had benches in there for them to sit in while they were in the elevator.
I was very surprised that there was not an elevator person. What are they called?
It's
The
the
wet floor,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then there's
yeah.
a button for you. I was surprised I didn't see that, but maybe
Yeah.
they were tucked around the corner. I don't know.
We don't know.
And we get a great explanation now of what buying and selling commodities is, what they do there. They put all the food out in front of them. Did they need to get the food? Couldn't they just had pictures or something?
I guess because they thought he was uneducated, that they needed to have visuals for him
He said he already had breakfast, but it would have been so much funnier as if he was nibbling on stuff as they were
on
talking.
stuff as they were talking about it. Yeah, that would have been funny.
I thought a missed opportunity there. We get to see Ophelia's apartment. She tells us a little bit about her. She's saved up, I think she said 45 grand from laying on her back,
Yep.
which is a prostitute joke.
Three more solid years and she could retire. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, it's like, wow, great job then. I don't
I
want
guess at that time that was a great job.
like, jeez, she's making a killing, and she looks like a high end prostitute. To be fair, she even has. It's not in this scene, but later on, a guy comes to her door. So it's not like she has to go work a corner. Maybe she's an escort. We'll go as fancy as that.
Maybe because she did say she didn't have a pimp, so I'm assuming that she wasn't on the actual
Books
streets
appointments and stuff. Yeah. Back at the office again, Valentine now demonstrates his understanding of the job. He saves the Dukes a bunch of money on pork bellies.
itself.
But Mortimer's not a fan of Valentine. We can see that. And then he drops his money clip
On purpose. I saw that.
in an
Yeah.
attempt to catch him stealing. It didn't work, though. I love how Eddie Murphy comes running out with it, and Billy Ray's so excited. It's there. It's all there. It's all,
It's all there.
he wants him to
Count it. Count it.
He's so proud of himself. Next scene, Winthorpe again. He's dressed really badly now.
Yep.
He goes to the country club to see his fiancée, and he runs into his friends, Todd and the other guys. Man, they're annoying. They were all four there singing to the girls in their like quartet.
I hated that whole scene.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. As soon as they started singing, I'm like, I can't watch this, and I fast forwarded it until they stopped singing. I'm like, I can't do it.
you have to go back and rewatch it.
No.
No. It's funny because that actually happened. That was a thing. Maybe even earlier than the 80s.
Maybe, yeah.
Those quartets and guys, like, we seen it on movies like Grease, where all the preppies all have a little singing club.
They have a cappella clubs and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now? No.
No.
I think that ended with, like, Boys to Men in Philly. I think that was the last time guys ever gathered around and said, hey, see what we could do.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Boys to Men was the last group that did that. Actually, no, let's be honest. All the boy bands. So like Boys to Men, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, they all did that kind of stuff.
Well, no. See, but those boy bands all did it maybe, like in the garage, practicing to become boy bands or to get better. I'm talking about guys who are just in a circle singing.
Yeah, I guess
for no other reason than just singing. And it's similar to these four preppies. Like, Boys to Men even sang about it in their one song, how they would sit on the corner of the block. And we've seen that in movies lots.
Yeah.
Guys are just singing along. Like, they're not trying to be a boy band. They're just singing. They don't do that now. Can you go out on your way to Superstore, see how many guys are singing on the corner of a block? Zero. Nobody does that anymore.
That's true.
Nobody.
That's true. We got the people are Jesus is coming and
yeah, right. Yeah. Those people are out there.
Those are the people that are out there right now.
Maybe we need to start this up again. Roma, what are you doing tomorrow?
Sing. I know I can't sing. Can you sing?
Let's try tomorrow.
Okay.
We can do actually. I've got a song for us. It's the Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego
Oh
song
my god.
from the game show. Let's do that one.
That was a great song.
So at that country club, we see the four girls and they're all swooning over the guys as they finish their song. One of those girls is Jamie Lee's sister, Kelly.
Mhm. Yep.
Got a small, tiny little part, 0 lines.
She was just an extra. That's all she needed.
Winthorpe comes in to talk to them, and they want nothing to do with him. Mac dealer, coke dealer, whatever they want to call him, they're embarrassed to talk to him.
Yeah.
So in the next scene, he needs money somehow. So he goes to the pawn shop, tries to pawn his legitimate watch that he owns. That is expensive.
The guy died laughing when he was talking about shows the time from Italy, Spain, France. And I don't know what the hell he said. He said some French word, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a real French word. And that's why I was laughing so much. He was like, it's a $6,154 retail watch.
I liked when the pawn shop guy was like, "Ah, burns my fingers." He thinks it's hot.
Yeah,
Stolen.
yeah, I know.
Now that I'm not too up and hip on old timey music and guitarists, but that pawn shop guy is Bo Diddley.
No idea.
The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I guess he was a huge guitarist back in the day, way before mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, more and more piling up on poor Winthorpe. In the next scene, we see him just staring in through the window of that fancy restaurant where Valentine is hanging out with all the other board members or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can just see it in Dan Aykroyd's face, the rage. He wants to kill this guy.
But so because this was the first time I saw it, especially after that pawn shop scene where he's like, how much is the gun? I was assuming he was going to pull the gun out at that point
And shoot through the glass.
and shoot through the window. Because I was like, did he buy the gun? Is he going to shoot him right now? That was all because it was a very long scene for just Eddie Murphy to talk to all those guys kind of thing. I was assuming something bad was going to happen, and then nothing did. No, I kind of got disappointed.
No. Yeah, we don't know how long he actually stood out there in the rain, but it was long enough to catch a cold.
Yeah.
103-degree
fever.
Yes.
Yes.
And you can see that Ophelia's fallen for him already.
Yeah.
Knock at the door, like I mentioned earlier. Here comes one of her Johns.
Yep.
And what was funny is that he calls himself Johnny because guys who pick up hookers are called Johns. So yeah, good nickname, Johnny.
And then this is where we get count number 6.
Why did she have to take her top off to lay with him?
I don't know, but also like why is she not wearing a bra?
Well, come on, it's the 80s.
I guess that's true.
Not many women wore bras in the 80s.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, it was just a thing. It's not a bad thing. If you're at a certain age and you can make it work, you go, girl.
This is true.
I'm all for burning the bra. What was that? That was in the 70s, I think. Even Marge Simpson did it. The next scene, we're at the company Christmas party. And Winthorpe shows up dressed as Santa. And he's grabbing food from the buffet line.
He puts a whole freaking
He puts that whole raw salmon into his jacket. Now, we've talked about this. This place is super snooty.
Yeah.
His Santa costume is just filthy. His beard is filthy.
The beard is filthy. Everything is just filthy.
And nobody's saying anything.
How did they not check him at the door?
Yeah, it's weird. He's filling his pockets. He probably smells like fish. It's just strange.
Yeah, it was very strange.
I want to do this Santa as one of my next cosplays.
Do you think anybody will get it?
I don't know, but I've got an old Santa suit that I can dirty up. I just need to find a replica salmon that I could have sticking out of my jacket. Maybe I'll have to make one. I don't know. Yeah, so very funny. We see a key moment happening at the same time as he's grabbing the food. Valentine discovers another fishy payment, $10K going to Clarence Beeks. So he takes it out to the Dukes to mention it to them. And essentially, they just blow him off. We'll take care of it. It's our business. We've got this. During that interaction, Winthorpe now manages to sneak into Billy Ray's office, and he starts planting the drugs in the drawer.
In the drawers.
And then he shouts out for the Dukes. Now, there was a bunch of noise out in that party. The door is closed. I think there was music playing. How did the Dukes hear him? He wasn't even very loud.
No.
But they came in like it was 3 seconds and the Dukes opened the door.
Movie magic.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just very weird. I felt like they could have stretched that out a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
shrink that time of the fourth wall break.
Yeah.
Add a few more seconds or, build some anticipation that are the Dukes walking in or not.
Yeah.
But and then he rambles on. He pulls out the drawer. He says, he's got all the bad ones: marijuana joints, PCP, red ones, blue ones. Like,
I'm almost positive those were Skittles.
I don't even.
I'm almost positive those were Skittles.
And probably could be because where would he get drugs from?
Well,
Especially like hard drugs. Like I don't.
it
He's
could have been from
snooty.
Ophelia. You got to remember, Ophelia's from the street, so she probably got him some stuff to plant it in his office.
Guess so. Maybe. Yeah.
But like the red ones, blue ones, and yellow ones, I'm almost positive he just went and got Skittles and separated them and stuck them in baggies.
It's so funny. So they're all in there. Billy Ray's denying it. He's planted this stuff in here. And he starts calling for security.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Very funny beat.
But then 3 seconds later, security comes in there.
Yeah. Security comes in anyways. Yeah. Very, very funny though. Winthorpe goes running out of the office and through the party with the craziest scream. I would love to mimic it right now, but I just can't. It was so bizarre as we see him running through all the people, and then he jumps up on the table.
Now that's another thing. Like, cops weren't around anywhere there for that.
Don't know. But then he jumps off the table, and you see him just saunter out, all casual.
Yes.
What's going on here? This guy is losing his mind.
Yeah.
Another key moment in the movie, but we do get an N-bomb.
Yes.
This is
That
the
was the
scene
bathroom
where
scene.
Billy Ray is hiding in the toilet, and he overhears Duke and Duke.
Hold on. With the planted marijuana cigarettes.
But he ain't gonna let this go to waste. So he overhears the whole plan, how it was a bet, and so now he's intent on sharing this information with Winthorpe, so he chases after him.
Yeah.
When he does find him, Winthorpe just lets out this zombie-like groan. And then stumbles away, gets away. He finally catches up with him at Ophelia's apartment. Another thing, like, same as before, Winthorpe just walked in. Jamie Lee said, hey, and then 3 seconds later, here comes Billy Ray in.
Yeah.
Like, you guys were in the same hallway together, clearly. Could you not have said something? Could you not have run up to him and tapped him on the shoulder? I don't know. It was just too close together again.
Again, movie magic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, so he's gone into the bathroom. Ophelia goes to get him. It could be too late. He's trying to OD on some pills. I don't know if they were red ones or blue ones or green ones or the ones with the pretzel inside. I don't know. But the doctor comes. He's all good now. The doctor, please don't excite him. And right off the bat, as soon as he says that, you just know, oh God, he's going to get excited.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen. He's going to
Yeah.
see Billy Ray. And of course he does. And it's hilarious. Billy Ray explains to him all about the Dukes. Coleman admits he was involved as well. And then Billy Ray mentions it was all for $1. And then Winthorpe's just $1. They ruined his life over $1. So they come up with a new plan. And the new plan was not the shotgun that Winthorpe was shining.
Yeah.
They decided to try to make them poor as well. We see Valentine, Billy Ray, eavesdropping on calls, waiting and waiting for some special call to help them out. Can you do that now? Are you able to just eavesdrop anymore? Because most people use cell phones.
Technology-wise, yes, it's capable. They are capable of doing it. Back in the day, it was easy because, it's copper wires. People could tap wires all the time. And in most cases, back in the day, there was what was called, you probably might know this, party lines,
Right. Yeah.
where it's like one line goes to the entire neighborhood, but each person has a different ringtone.
Right.
So technically,
But he
that
wasn't tapping the line. He was just
no, he was just listening in on the line because it was basically a party line. They had one line for the entirety of the office, I guess.
right. Now, you're an only child.
Yeah.
I am not. So I did much like Billy Ray. I would sit on like the downstairs phone listening to my older sister's conversation, who is listening to this podcast, by the way. Hi. Because all you had to do is, as you were lifting the receiver up, you had to get your finger in there on the little nipple,
Yeah.
the little button.
Yeah.
Get it on there so that it doesn't spring up fully. Because when it does that, you can hear it.
You can hear it on the other end. Yeah.
But if you got your finger on it and just hold it up halfway, it doesn't do the spring click. So you could sit there as long as you held your finger there and listen without them knowing. Yeah, did that all the time. Sorry, Sonia.
No, you're not.
It wasn't anything fun and exciting anyways. So their plan's in motion. We get to the train. This is another part in the movie where in the what is it called? They're all sitting in, it's like Harry Potter.
The
They're in the
trolley?
train. They're in the
Oh,
train and they've got their own little room, I guess. I think there's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
sign for it. I don't know.
I don't know what that's called.
Anyways, another part.
We'll get comments.
Don't condone this. Billy Ray walks in pretending to be from Cameroon. Funny, super funny acting.
Super funny.
What I don't understand is, does Clarence Beeks know Billy Ray? I was sitting there trying to think back through the movie. Had he ever seen him? But I don't think so, because he planted the drugs on Winthorpe. He talked to Ophelia outside the police station. I don't think Billy Ray was ever around when we saw Beeks.
Unless my theory about him getting bailed out by Beeks.
Yeah, maybe.
But
because then wouldn't he have recognized him right off the bat? As
you're
soon
right.
as he walked in.
So basically my theory's been squashed at that point. He didn't pay the bail. So maybe it was an e-transfer.
Okay. So maybe it was. So he doesn't recognize his face, so he must not have met him. Then why the act? Why does he have to dress up in the African outfit with the accent? Why can't he just have his own accent, wear whatever he wants to wear?
I guess that's true.
Like, there was no need for a disguise.
There's no need
for this gentleman.
for that whole disguise. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And then in comes Coleman, who he must have met. Because Coleman worked for the Dukes.
Yep.
Must have. With all this setting up Winthorpe, he must have seen Coleman at one point. And Coleman's not really in much of a disguise, dressed as a priest with an Irish accent. And then Ophelia comes in, and she still looks the same. Granted, you were probably staring at her breasts most of the time, so you didn't really look at her face.
This is true.
But, and then lastly, we get, I almost called him Ray. Winthorpe walks in, dressed up as Lionel Joseph.
Which again, he's very noticeable of who he is.
He's black-faced. It's not a cool thing to do.
No.
It's not even painted well. You could see it stops right above his shirt.
Sure.
What is this disguise, man? And then he's got his dreads, which it makes sense. The dreads are covering his face. Because they're for sure Beeks knows him. But then when he's talking to, I can't remember what Billy Ray's character's name was from Cameroon. It's me, Lionel Joseph. And he opens it up like a curtain. What are you doing? Now he can see you better. Leave the shit in front of your face. But no, he's like, it's me. So I didn't get that. Again, blackface, not cool. But their interaction in that cart
gold
was
absolute gold.
Was so funny. Their little song that they had to have rehearsed.
I don't think they rehearsed that. I think that was, they did it and then they just kept it in the cut. They had to have. There's no way that they rehearsed that.
Well, but How was it matching? They got the same notes for the song.
I don't know, but it was
Mm.
freaking good. It
It,
was so good.
it was pretty funny. And they do all this to switch out the briefcases, right? And it ends up not working, or work. Yes, it does work, but so that I don't understand that. They get it, they do the swap, they go to put it back in his bag, and he catches them. So what happened? Did he open it up, realize it was wrong? It didn't show that. Is he not questioning, why are they putting the briefcase back in my bag, in the bag? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
It was very confusing to me. I just wanted to just sit and laugh, though.
Yeah.
So yeah, he busts them all. He rips the dreads off his head. It's just pretty funny. And then he forces them all to the cargo cart of the train, whatever it's called. And we see the gorilla there, which we've seen once before already. Now,
The
clearly not a real gorilla.
Fakest gorilla ever, but yeah.
No. Fakest gorilla ever is the one that walks in.
He's the one that walks in. Yes, that's true.
That
That
everybody else from this point on thinks is a real gorilla.
yeah.
Okay?
It was so bad
So the animatronic gorilla looks fantastic
compared to
comparison.
compared to the other one. Yes, you're right.
So Beaks hits it was the fake gorilla, and then the real gorilla gets upset and bonks him on the head, which gives them the opportunity to get away. They dress him
Yep.
up in that gorilla costume. I'm assuming they bought off of Jim Belushi. And or do you think they bought the costume, or do you think Belushi got knocked out and they stole the costume off of him?
Probably stole the costume off of him.
Okay. So I was thinking that too. So let's say they stole him, they dressed Beaks in it, they taped Beaks up in the gorilla cage, which, how did they get the cage open? With, I'm assuming it's locked, but whatever.
They probably got the key somewhere, but yeah, you're right.
But then Jim Belushi gets back up. He's in his underwear. Does he not realize that that's my costume on in the cage with that other gorilla now? I don't know. It doesn't show. We just see him go back to the party cart, and he's like, "Look what happened to me!" Hey.
Yeah.
Funny guy. I like him and his brother. Okay, we're off the train now, and we're getting to see the big dope deal going down. It's not actually a dope deal, but they're in the parking garage. It's really dark. We got Beaks over here, all shadowy, and the Dukes. It's very cloak and dagger, right? And then they do the swap, the money for the frozen orange juice report, and we get to see, hey, that's not Beaks, that's Billy Ray. This is part of their plan. We see that Coleman and Ophelia donate all that money. Ophelia from laying on her back, and Coleman from buttling. I don't know. He's a butler. That's what they do. So they give the savings, please don't lose all our money. The guys arrive at the stock exchange. We get a nice shot of the Twin Towers. And they go in. They're in the bathroom getting ready. Now, did you notice anything about this bathroom?
No.
How about the sheer population of people in it?
Well, there was a lot of people in it, yes.
When that bell rung, it was like, time to get back to work. Well, first off, all the stall doors, I think it was like 8 stalls, they all opened at the exact same time. And the guys came piling out of it in unison, like they were some synchronized swimming team. They didn't go wash their hands. They just...
Nobody did. Nobody did. Not a single person.
Like 40 other people appeared in this bathroom. How many other stalls or urinals are there in there? And why are they all done at the same time? Like not even one guy still, like prairie dogging it in one of the stalls.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, that was weird. I was like, we don't need that many people. The mass panic of buying and selling all starts now. The Dukes have told their guy to buy.
Yep.
Don't stop buying. And then we see our boys, Billy Ray and Winthorpe. They're out there and they're waiting, timing it right, because they're both pretty smart about this. We've seen that. And then they start buying until a key point where they decide now's the time to start selling. It was right after, I think, the announcement that the crop was good. So they start selling. And the Dukes start to panic. The price has dropped so much. It's dirt cheap now. But, the Dukes guy is still buying, and the Dukes are panicking, and they're running down there to stop him from buying. And it's pretty funny because he ends up like passing out or something, and they drag him out of the
Drag him
crowd.
onto the ground. Yep.
Get back in there. Sell, man, sell. And they couldn't. So they were going to go do it themselves, which I'm assuming in their younger days, they were down there too, and they made their millions that way. But they miss it. Timer runs out. Everything's closed. No more buying or selling. And they notice Billy Ray and Winthorpe there counting all their slips. They're so excited. They're hugging. They finally look over to the Dukes, and we get our Happy New Year from Winthorpe to the Dukes.
Yep.
And they explain that they made a bet for $1. Throwing it right back in their faces, obviously. And now we find out that the Dukes are broke. The council, what would you call it?
Duke and
the
Duke
board.
council, the board is all dismembered.
Yeah, they're selling their seats. They're trying to get the money. They're ruined. And Randolph has a heart attack. And the other one guy was like, Mortimer, your brother. F him. So funny. I like that guy, and I think I'm going to watch Cocoon tomorrow. It's just funny. And then, well, where's Beaks? Beaks is still in that gorilla cage because everybody who has unloaded the cage from the train and now onto the shipping, onto the ship, still think it's a real gorilla.
Which
what
again,
is wrong with people?
Boggles my mind because it was so bad. So bad.
It's funny to see because Beaks, before, when he first got locked up in there, he was panicking, he wanted out. Now he was so docile, he was sitting down in front of the other gorilla. I have a feeling it's because the other gorilla did make him his wife.
Probably.
So he's a little.
I think that was also the second time it kind of like the fourth wall was broken because he stared right into the camera.
Yeah, and his eyes bugged out.
And his eyes bugged out.
Yeah. Oh God, it was so funny. Then like the end of the movie is them on the island. They're enjoying their riches. Everybody's got a lovely lady with them.
Yeah.
Coleman's got a servant getting him drinks. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the movie.
Now I got one question.
Yeah.
How did they lose all their money on orange juice?
Frozen orange juice.
Frozen orange juice. Okay. How the hell did you lose all your riches on frozen orange juice?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand the whole buying, selling thing.
Yeah, me either.
But I know that when it started, the price was $1.29 a share, and then when it ended, it was only 23 cents. So yeah, they lost all their money because of it. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was good. Like I said in the beginning, the first half hour, 45 minutes was for me slow. So I was trying to get engaged in it in the beginning. Not that I didn't like it. The Dan Aykroyd as a pompous rich man didn't appeal to me at the time. It was later on when it got more and more like he got pissed off. He became homeless in a matter of like an hour kind of thing. That's when it was more comical, right? Like at the beginning, it wasn't funny. It was just more serious, right? But then like the last 45 minutes to an hour was gold, comedy gold. It was really good. It was Eddie Murphy doing like, his typical Eddie Murphy raw, delirious kind of comedy, antics and stories, his little gimmicks and, accents and, his acting ability was actually phenomenal in this movie. And I did enjoy it. I would watch it again, but my rating wouldn't be as high as you think it would be. I'd say for me, rating this movie for me would be 6.5, 7 for me. Don't you dare do it, Luca. I would watch it again just so that I can see now Giancarlo. I could see all those actors that we were talking about in the IMDb to try and focus on it again and watch it one more time. But yeah, 6, 7 would be the rating I would give it.
Stop that. You're doing it to yourself, man.
I know. I'm doing it for the fans.
Okay, so it's no secret, Roma, you're in your 40s.
Yeah, we know
Y
this.
you're
So are
gonna
you.
look back. One day, you're gonna be blowing out your birthday candles on your 67th birthday, and Luca's gonna pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, Luca's gonna pop out of nowhere
He's
and he's
gonna
gonna do
rub it
it.
in.
I
Ugh.
hope to God it's not a meme still by then when I'm 67.
It'll come back just for that.
Just for that. Just for that. Yeah.
So, I really enjoy the movie,
Yep.
um, understanding its context and its time frame and all of that. I find the funny parts funny. I find a majority of the writing done well. There are spots where they could have trimmed and they could have lengthened for my personal benefit, and I think others if they had done it a little bit different. So I think I'd give it an 8. Give it an 8.
Okay.
Now, you've said you've watched Coming to America.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe we'll do Coming to America at some point, but I don't know when. So I want to bring it up now.
Okay.
So Randolph and Mortimer make an appearance. So Prince Hakeem is in Queens at this point,
Yeah.
and we know he's wealthy. If I'm not mistaken, it's even when he's wearing his fur coat still,
Right.
and he's got Semi with him. They're walking past these two homeless guys who are sitting on the street dressed like crap. And Prince Hakeem leaves them some cash. And then all of a sudden, from underneath like the blanket, it's Randolph and Mortimer. And they're like, oh my, Randolph, look at this. Look at it. And they're so excited about the money because they think they're back now.
Yeah.
They can take that money and turn it around. It's this very funny
I
cameo.
remember that part of the movie vaguely, and now I'm just gonna have to watch it again to see.
Yeah.
Because
Now you'll
Okay.
understand it.
Okay.
It was pretty fun.
So Coming to America came out after this movie, obviously, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay. I guess that's it. Everybody, don't forget, please, Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, share. Roma's our social media guy.
I'm
So he's
trying.
been-
I'm trying to get as much as I can out there right now. It's with work
Yeah.
and everything. I'm getting 1 or 2 videos out per day. But
he's posting some clips, some teasers, some extracts from some videos. So yeah, please do share what you think is funny. If you don't think it's funny, share it anyways.
yeah, please,
Don't
it'd be nice.
comment on YouTube. We had a comment that was pretty bizarre. Neither of us know the guy, so obviously the video got to somebody.
Somebody we didn't know. Yay! Wasn't a very nice comment, but yeah,
no,
it was a comment nonetheless.
It was a bizarre comment, but whatever. Nice or bad. We think we're idiots too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, guys. Well, that's the end of this. Stay tuned for next week, the pre-watch of our next movie.
Yes. All right.
See ya.
Have a good night, guys. See ya.